Hey there, everyone. I'm Dr. Vlad, a general pediatrician specializing in autism for children. Today, we're going to be talking about attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder, also known as ADHD, in children who also happen to have autism. Now, we often see hyperactive behavior in kids who are on the spectrum, but it's not always because of ADHD. These are two neurodevelopmental disorders, meaning they affect the brain development and they're more intertwined than you may think. Think of it like this. They're cousins. They share some family traits, but they're definitely their own individuals. Okay? So first, let's break down what these things are. So ADHD is, you think of a kid who's bouncing off the walls, can't really focus, takes impulsive actions. Kids on the autism spectrum, there used to be a bunch of different diagnoses. They're all under one umbrella now. And you think for those kids about social and emotional struggles, nonverbal communication challenges. They share some symptoms, but they're not really the same as kids with ADHD. Now, here's the wild part. Over half the kids who are on the autism spectrum also will have signs of ADHD, and that's massive. ADHD is the most common coexisting condition with autism. On the flip side, 1/4 of kids with ADHD have some low-level signs of autism. It's like a Venn diagram with a big overlap. Why is that? No one knows for sure. But they're both dealing with brain development, specifically with executive functioning, things like decision-making, focus, organization, the stuff that makes you successful in life. Now, both of them affect the central nervous system. That's your brain and your spinal cord. That's where you control movement, language, memory, social skills. Think of it like a power outage in different parts of the city. Get this. Both conditions are more common in boys. And here's the kicker. While autism is lifelong, ADHD symptoms can fade into adulthood for some. That's pretty wild, right? So what's the difference? ADHD kids are often restless and impulsive and struggle to pay attention. And some will hyperfocus and get locked into their very favorite video games. Kids on the autism spectrum, however, on the other hand, they may avoid eye contact, have delayed speech, and be very obsessed with routines and textures and repetitive movements like hand flapping. They can be super sensitive to sensory input or really crave a lot of sensory input like back rubs. Think about Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory, for those of you who know who that is. Now, you could think of ADHD like a hummingbird that is flying from one flower to the next, while autism is more of like a laser beam that's intensely focused. Kids with ADHD struggle to finish tasks, while kids on the spectrum get stuck on tasks. But here is the gold. Kids on the autism spectrum have incredible memories. They can excel in math, science, art, and music, and their focus can be their superpower at times. The treatment for them is tricky. So ADHD often responds to medication, while autism, not so much. So while medication is frequently part of the treatment plan for kids with ADHD, because it can help them reduce major symptoms like hyperactivity and impulsivity. The most commonly used medications are the stimulant class, and they work very well for kids who have just plain old ADHD without autism. However, when we use those same stimulants to help kids with ADHD and autism, they seem to be kind of less effective and can cause more side effects, like withdrawal, some irritability, some sadness, possibly depression, than when they're used for kids treating for ADHD alone. This is where psychosocial therapy, like parent training, in addition to medications, is more likely to help these kids who are both on the spectrum and have ADHD. So there's a balancing act that goes on. Experts generally recommend still going ahead and trying to use a stimulant according to their guidelines than with non-stimulant medication, but it's a step-by-step process. And sometimes non-stimulant medications may be more effective in kids who are on the autism spectrum and have ADHD. So what's the bottom line? That medications can sometimes help with the ADHD part of the autism spectrum, but it's not a silver bullet for autism itself. So behavioral interventions are key. And always, you have to work with a knowledgeable doctor who knows you. This video is for general informational content only. It's not personal health advice. Your doctor will guide you through the maze. Look, this is not a game. There are real challenges, but knowledge is power. Understand these conditions, embrace the strengths, and get the right support. You've got this. Now go out there and crush it. For parents in New York State, navigate autism with confidence. Call our office and empower your child's development with proven strategies and compassionate care. Picture a world where your child doesn't struggle with focus. They have the tools they need to succeed because we understand them better. With patience, understanding, and the right strategies, we can help them achieve this. Let's take this step together towards a brighter, focused future.